The bus rattled along the city streets, the evening light casting long shadows on the pavement. It was just another ride for most passengers, a moment of stillness between work and home. They sat quietly, some staring out the window, others scrolling through their phones. But for one boy at the back of the bus, this ride was about to become unforgettable. He was a teenager, probably around 16, dressed in a hoodie, jeans, and brand new sneakers. His earbuds hung around his neck, but he wasn't listening to music. Instead, his restless eyes scanned the bus, looking for something to break the monotony. His expression was smug, the kind of look that screamed, "I think I'm better than everyone else here." Then, he spotted her. An elderly black woman, probably in her late 70s, carefully boarded the bus. Her hands trembled slightly as she held the railing, steadying herself as the bus jolted forward. She wore simple, modest clothes, the kind that showed she had lived through her share of hard times. Clutched tightly in her hands were several worn-out shopping bags. The bags were old and frayed, patched in places with tape and string to keep them from falling apart. They bulged with something inside, but whatever it was remained hidden beneath the tattered fabric. The boy nudged his friend sitting beside him and smirked. "Look at that," he whispered, loud enough for the passengers around them to hear. "She's carrying garbage. Bet she pulled those bags out of a dumpster." His friend chuckled nervously but glanced away, clearly uncomfortable. "Come on, man. Don't." But the boy wasn't done. He leaned forward, his voice getting louder. "Hey, lady. What's in the bags? Trash? Did you forget to take out the garbage today?" The woman remained silent. She sat down near the back, placing her bags on her lap and gazing out the window as if she hadn't heard him. But her hands gripped the bags tighter, her knuckles turning white. The boy took her silence as encouragement. "She probably doesn't even know what a real handbag looks like," he sneered. "Bet she's been using those same bags for decades." Several passengers glanced in their direction. Some whispered to each other, shaking their heads in disapproval. Others avoided eye contact, pretending not to notice the boy's cruel remarks. No one said anything. They were all too wrapped up in their own worlds to get involved. But this woman's silence wasn't weakness. It was patience, the patience of someone who had seen the world's cruelty before and knew exactly how to respond. And soon, the boy would realize that he wasn't mocking just a woman with old bags. He was mocking a story, one far more powerful than he could ever imagine. The bus hit a pothole, causing one of the woman's bags to shift. The contents peeked out for a brief moment, containers of food, blankets, and small children's shoes. The boy noticed and sneered even louder. "Look at that. She's carrying junk for someone else. Who even needs that stuff? Probably garbage for a bunch of homeless people." At that moment, a middle-aged man sitting nearby closed his book with a loud snap and leaned forward. "Hey, kid," the man said, his voice calm but firm. "Why don't you leave her alone?" The boy turned to him with a cocky grin. "Why don't you mind your own business?" The man didn't flinch. He met the boy's gaze head-on, his expression unshakable. "It is my business," the man said. "When I see someone being disrespected like that, it becomes my business. And it should be everyone's business." The boy rolled his eyes, dismissing the man with a wave of his hand. "Whatever." But the woman? She finally turned to face the boy. Her eyes, tired, wise, and filled with quiet strength, locked onto his. "You think I'm a joke?" she asked softly. The boy froze. Her voice wasn't loud, but it carried the weight of a lifetime's worth of stories. "You think my bags make me worthless?" she continued, lifting one of them slightly. "Is that what you see when you look at me?" The boy's cocky smirk faltered. He stammered, unsure of what to say. "These bags," the woman said, holding them up gently, "carry more than you'll ever know." The bus went silent. Every passenger was now listening intently. They're filled with food for families who don't have enough to eat. Blankets for people sleeping in the cold. Clothes for children who have nothing. She paused, letting her words sink in. I've been delivering supplies to shelters for years, she said. I've seen mothers cry because they couldn't feed their kids. I've seen fathers break down because they couldn't keep their families warm. The boy's face turned pale. His laughter was gone. Shame washed over him like a tidal wave. And you, the woman continued. What have you done today? Other than mock someone who's trying to help others? The boy's mouth opened, but no words came out. You judged me, she said. You saw my bags and thought you knew my story. But you were wrong. The middle-aged man nodded in agreement. She's right. Respect isn't about who has the newest clothes or the fanciest gadgets. It's about how you treat people, especially those who can't fight back. The bus erupted into applause. The passengers clapped, their faces filled with admiration for the woman's strength and wisdom. The boy slumped in his seat, his face burning with embarrassment. At the next stop, the bus doors opened with a hiss. The woman stood up, adjusting her bags. As she stepped off, she turned back one last time, her eyes meeting the boy's. Kindness costs nothing, she said. But cruelty? That will cost you everything. The doors closed behind her, leaving the boy sitting in stunned silence. The bus continued down the street, but the atmosphere had changed. It was no longer just a ride home, it was a lesson in kindness, empathy, and the dangers of judging someone by their appearance. The boy's friend leaned in, whispering quietly. Dude, you really messed up. The boy didn't respond. He was too lost in thought, replaying the woman's words over and over in his mind. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more powerful life lessons. These aren't just stories, they're reflections on humanity, empathy, and respect. Have you ever witnessed a moment like this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, every person has a story. Don't judge a book by its cover. Because the world would be a better place if we all carried a little more kindness.